Up and Adam.
Tractor systems are offline.
We are Beyond FM.
Beyond FM.
The future of broadcasting is here.
Up and Adam with Adam Montiel. It's community content from Concentrate. It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Yes, some say life is just where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
Hey now, thank you so much for being Up and Adam. My name is Adam Montiel. Happy Friday, made it to the weekend. Today, two actors, one unforgettable film, and a story that cuts way deeper than the water it's set on. Later on Up and Adam, we're going to be joined by Kirk Douglas, who you've seen in The Crowded Room with Tom Holland and Wire Room opposite Bruce Willis, whose most powerful role may still be the one that he lived. His memoir, Long Way Home, called a gripping work by Rolling Stone magazine, he laid bare his journey through addiction, incarceration, and a fight for real redemption. Now he's bringing that same raw vulnerability to the screen in Looking Through Water. It's the name of the film, alongside none other than his father, Michael Douglas, also in this film. And with him today, another true heavyweight of screen and stage, David Morse. Now from The Green Mile to The Hurt Locker, World War Z to Concussion, David's face, no doubt, is one you know. And his presence is one that you never forget when you see him on screen. He's earned Emmy noms for House, also HBO's John Adams, The Morning Show, Good Lord Bird, and recently returned to Broadway in How I Learned to Drive, earning a Tony nod for his performance. This guy doesn't just act, he gets down to it. He excavates. He gets into it. Together, we're talking about Looking Through Water, this film, and a story really about fractured fatherhood, silent forgiveness, and the kind of healing that only happens when you cast a line into the past. That's the conversation. It is coming up. I'm looking forward to it. Okay, really quick, did you see this viral video? Before we get into the chat, though, this quick viral video, I saw it on socials. Of course, it happened in Florida. A Florida man, right? This is a chest camera from a cop. He's in a Chuck E. Cheese, and they are arresting Chucky. So the person who was, dressed up as Chuck E. Cheese for whatever reason did something, and listen to this. It's just wild.
Chucky's a little bit busy, man. Chucky, come with me, Chucky. Come on.
Come with me, Chucky.
Chucky, stop resisting. Stop resisting. Let it go.
Oh my God, they're telling him to stop resisting. Kids are just watching. Don't cause a scene, sir, the cops say. Chucky's got, how traumatizing is this? Chucky's got his arms behind his back. They're traipsing him out of the Chuck E. Cheese.
We're gonna talk to you in a minute, okay? We gotta do our job, man.
Oh, the manager is like, really?
It's not my call, man.
They take him to the back, for crying out loud. They're marching him right out the front. Chucky.
I'm gonna talk to you in a minute, let you know what's going on, okay?
Yeah, I'd like.
I'll pat you down, okay?
Then they're gonna pat him down right outside the Chuck E. Cheese. Look, I get it if he did something wrong for sure, but
what's in your pocket here?
it's a pizza. It's a pizza slicer. I don't know. It's a pizza roller. Oh man, so I don't know, that thing going viral right now. Chuck E. Cheese getting popped in Florida. I don't even know for what. I got to get more of the story, but it was just one of those videos that went viral. I was like, this is too good. This is too good. Damn. All right, I'm going to get into our conversation. We got two great actors here. I'm really, really excited. Kirk Douglas, David Morse. Want to tell you about our friends at Life Elements. You know what hits different as the summer is coming to an end and we are getting into fall. We are not done with bug season. And their plant-based bug spray, it actually works. I took it to France where it's hot and humid. It repels mosquitoes. We've been having ticks here big time. Safe for your kids, your dog, even your skin. No harsh chemicals. I love the next level local skincare and wellness, handcrafted right here in the Atascadero by our friends at Life Elements. You can check out their store, 7425. I really encourage you to go in there. Check out, see Martha and Kurt. They're great people. She's going to be whipping something up. First of all, it smells so good when you walk in there. It's probably healing just walking in. 7425 El Camino Real, Suite O, in that back right corner of the plaza. LifeElements.com. You can save 15% when you use the promo code ADAM. When you check out, stock up, save money. Use the promo code ADAM, Life Elements. But again, definitely encourage you to hop on into the store and meet Martha. Check out Kurt. They're fantastic people. Other places you can get their products, the Hive in Arroyo Grande, the General Store, downtown Paso, but it does not replace going in and paying them a visit or getting over to lifeelements.com.
It's Up and Adam with Adam Montiel.
All right, my guest today, two men whose careers and lives could not be more different, but who meet at the emotional center of a new film that's all heart and has no shortcuts. Cameron Douglas, actor, author, the son of Michael Douglas, the grandson of the great Kirk Douglas, has lived a life that most people only read about. Some of it's dark, all of it is honest. His memoir, Long Way Home, chronicled his journey through addiction, incarceration, and now looking into the film Looking Through Water, he brings that life experience to a character trying to repair the most fragile kind of bond, the one between a father and a son. Joining him, a real master of his craft, David Morse, from The Green Mile to The Hurt Locker, World War Z, an unforgettable TV and film star. David's known for delivering performances that go bone deep. And this film, for both of them, it hits hard. They're both here now. So excited to welcome them from the new film, Looking Through Water. Let's welcome Cameron Douglas and David Morse. Up and Adam.
Yeah, we are too.
You got a pretty place, part of this world to live in.
Have you been to San Luis Obispo before?
Oh, beauty, yeah.
I love it.
Love it up there.
Yeah.
Wine country.
Yes, we are very much in wine country. I actually do a wine show too that's in about 50 states and 130 countries called Where Wine Takes You.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're in Paso wine country, baby. I love it. Well, look, this is awesome. You know, I appreciate you guys being here. It's like there's a certain silence that happens, guys, between fathers and sons, and it can be full of love, tension, history, sometimes regret. In Looking Through Water, that silence almost feels like it's its own character. I'm curious, like, what did this film ask of you? Not as just actors, but as men who carries complex relationships of your own. Like, what personal ghost does this script awaken in you both?
Well, you were speaking to your point, David, about the silence in this movie that you don't get as much anymore in a lot of these
Yeah,
films.
that's really interesting you bring that up. That's really observant of you.
Yeah.
There's a lot of life that happens in the silence. And sometimes in movies or in television, people are afraid of that silence and they don't trust it. And it was very important in this thing. And the people who edited it, Roberto who directed it, just that they understood that and trusted us with it. It was great. Just as actors, it's a gift when that happens. Mm-hmm. And like you say, in relationships, silence is a part of relationships. It's what's not being said, or we're figuring out stuff, or before we say something, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. It's a part of our life, and it's wonderful when it's in a story like this.
You know, Cameron, your family has lived in the frame of Hollywood for generations. Kirk, Michael, you. How did stepping into this role with your father allow you to kind of redefine your place, not just in the Douglas lineage, but in your own story as an artist?
It was a great opportunity for me. A great story, and a really interesting, I feel, nuanced character that I was able to play. For my career as an actor, hopefully it's going to be beneficial. As an artist, it was really valuable. You know, I learned a lot, worked with some really talented individuals, actors, and I just think it's a fun story. I think you guys are gonna like it. You know, if you're into fishing, it's right up your alley. But moreover, it's a great story about a family dynamic, which I think we can all relate to.
Was there a scene or even like a silent look that felt like it marked a shift in how you see each other, maybe not just as men, but as collaborators?
That's an interesting question. I felt, without spoiling anything in the movie, I have an introspective moment after a loss, and that was for me a quite an experience, as an artist, and really touched some very real places inside of me. So yeah, there were some very formative moments, I'd say, as an actor in this film for me.
That's exciting, man.
You need to watch that scene last night that he's talking about. It's really moving. It's really lovely.
Yeah.
Does a good job with it.
David, your body of work spanning saints, sinners, every kind of soul in between. But there's really something that you do that I've always enjoyed. It's like the unsaid. You seem to deliver it like few others. In Looking Through Water, what was the most emotionally honest moment for you? Maybe not the hardest scene technically, but the moments that cost you something really real to deliver,
There's a couple of scenes in there, particularly with my son that we're talking about here. You got to go deep. There's just no way around it. You just got to go to those places inside. We're given words to tell a story, but it's the things that inside of us that we got to tell it with. And my relationship with my own father was very complicated. It's part of the reason I wanted to do this. You got to go there.
Yeah.
And, and that's what you get to see.
Fishing in this film isn't just fishing. It's legacy. It's hope. It's avoidance. It's therapy, right? For a lot of people who fish, it's therapy. What do you think Looking Through Water is really fishing for? Beneath the lines, the surface. What's the emotional catch, if you will, of this movie for people?
It's opportunity. When I asked my son to come down and compete with me in a competition, this big competition down there in Belize, there's obviously something more I need. There are things that I've not seen him in a long time. There are things that I need to tell him, I need to experience with him. I don't know how to do it. Up until now, I have not known how to. I've tried, it's not worked. And it gives us an opportunity that we've not had before. And the fishing just allows that to happen. The same thing with Michael Douglas and his grandson, to be in a boat together. If they weren't in that boat and spending that time, and that's, as you said, silence, that silence out there in the water that leaves room for things to unfold. So that's what the fishing really gives us opportunity.
Were either of you into fishing before this?
No, I think I can answer for both of us.
Yeah. I know I grew up in Southern California, and we'd maybe a little bit go to Troutdale for your birthday party, but I totally know what you mean. Did you find anything? I mean, do you think, Cameron, you might hit up a lake now, or like did it kind of ring, or is it almost like sometimes like my mind moves too quick for fishing? I just might not have the patience for it. Did you warm up to it, or what do you think?
Well, just personally, I'm not much of a hunter or a fisherman. It's just not something that's ever really called me. But having said that, I have great respect for fly fishing. I took a deep dive into the world of fly fishing and the art of fly fishing, from the guiding aspect to the technique, and I love, one of the things that I really respect about fly fishing is this idea of really stalking your prey. It's not just like throwing a line out there with a bobber and hoping that you're going to get a bite. You really have to understand your environment, and then once you sort of get onto the trail of your prey, then it's like game on. You know what I mean? And you get one. You zero in on it, and that's the one you're going for, and it's impressive. And when we were fortunate enough to be surrounded by some of the greats of the sport that were helping us along, and learning from these guys and watching greats do what they do best is inspiring in any medium.
And you don't get wet, right? You put on those like rubber things, so like you're all decked out and you're dry. Am I right about that?
Well, it depends. I mean, it can get pretty hairy. You may find yourself so inspired that you want to jump in the water.
Just like holding this thing. What was it about, from another person who wasn't really a big fisherman, David? What did fishing kind of teach you in this, maybe metaphorically or literally? I don't know.
Well, I'm not sure what it taught me, but getting to learn from these guys. And, we had so little time to learn this stuff. As actors, we're always taking on something new. Every role we do is something new for us. And this one, learning to participate, learn this art form, learn this fantastic, beautiful, this thing that people do. And it really isn't for me as much about catching the fish as the discipline, the art of it, if you're a martial artist or whatever it is. I get to live in that world for a little bit, and I just love doing that.
Yeah, that must be so exciting. Some of the most powerful moments, they never make the final cut, right? They kind of live in the memory of the actors more than the audience because we don't get to see them. Was there a moment, Cameron, maybe on set, off camera, or even between takes that to you meant almost more than anything the script called for it because it was just so real?
I'm constantly learning, as a human being and certainly as an artist. So there was many takeaways for me during the process of making this film. Certainly, working with some of these extremely talented artists and, watching them both in their art and their work ethic is very inspiring and edifying.
David, how did the definition of father maybe get broadened a bit with you with this film?
Well, that's an interesting way to ask that question. The definition of father, my father and I had a very complicated and difficult journey. And he died on his sailboat in Venezuela. He lay down to take a nap, and his wife was cooking lunch for them. And during his nap, he passed away. She didn't even know it. She was right next to him. And I got a call in Los Angeles to please somebody come and help her because she was being accused of killing him by the police down there. So I had to get on an airplane and fly to Venezuela to help get his body out of the country. And in some ways, my relationship with him grew during that week that I was down there, that it hadn't in the years before that. And in this movie, there are elements of that. That's part of the reason I wanted to do it. In this one, they actually get to talk to each other, and things come from it in a way that it didn't happen with me and my father.
Oh, that's really powerful. That you find this healing in just the selfless actions of helping her and doing all of the kind of dutiful things you might have felt, led to do. But then you felt a little bit healing with the speaking between the roles of this father and son. That's really powerful. That's really powerful. What about you, Cameron? How did it define anything different with you, or maybe broaden that stroke of what that is defined it for you?
Well, as a father of two young children, it's just a reminder, I guess, of, how, I want to relate with my children now and moving forward. And as we grow older and to try to keep as many secrets out of our relationship as possible, to keep things as clear and open between each other. So certainly, I guess in that way, it was interesting. As you asked this question, it's allowing me to sort of reflect on that and maybe take some of the moments from the plot of this film and apply them to my life and experience as a father.
Yeah, that's really cool. David, sometimes a role isn't just something you're playing. It's something that really grabs you. And you make that look like that often, you know, it shakes you up and says, yeah, this one's yours. Which part of this character that you played felt like it was chasing you even before you even said yes to the role?
One of the things I really liked about this role is he had found his world down there. This character had found his world, found his community, where he couldn't find it when he was at home with his children and had a job, you know, big time job, made a lot of money. He just could not find himself until he left it and went to the islands, and he was just in search of just finding a moment of happiness, and that's where he found it. But it was at the expense of other people, like his son. And I think that you know, that calls to me in a way. You know, we didn't want to do anything expensive, anybody. You know, as much as we want to find our happiness, we want them to find their happiness too. So I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, chemistry, sometimes maybe from our perspective, it's either there or it's not. I don't know. I mean, you would know more as actors if you can coach it. It doesn't seem like you can fake it. When it works, it really changes the whole game of a film. What did the chemistry on this film teach you, Cameron, and how to show up for a partner in a scene?
Well, as you say, I mean, I think chemistry is in life, as in, you know, as an actor, and in the course of working together with another actor, I think is needs to be very authentic and organic, and sometimes it's just that, and it's beautiful, and sometimes it's not there at all, and to greater or lesser degrees. But when it is there, it's magic.
David, how does a rhythm like this, does it come from the jump? Does it build over time when you step on the set that first time, or you're opening the script that first moment? How does it build?
Well, it depends on the experience. It depends on how the director wants that to unfold. You know, you're sort of naked the first day you walk onto a set, and the first time you have to open your mouth. Those first day is really hard. You've done all this work kind of on your own in your head. Usually you don't have rehearsals. We were lucky enough to get together and read a little bit, talk a little bit, and that talking about just finding a common story that we're telling and relationships. So at least we have that when we walk onto the set that first day. But it's part of what we do. You got to get naked. And not everybody's willing to do that. And there are people who are more protective of themselves, some actors. And you're grateful to be with the ones who want to open up and go places. And this was a group that wanted to do that.
You know, Cameron, your memoir, Long Way Home, wasn't just some like Hollywood tell-all. It was like a tell truth. You know, you didn't write it to shock people. You wrote it to stop hiding, it felt. And that takes a different kind of muscle. That vulnerability muscle is intense. When you laid it all out in that book, addiction, prison, pain, like what was the moment where you thought, yeah, I can't take this back, but I don't think I want to. Like, here you go.
Yeah, it's just it, man. It's, you know, trying to, you know, turn a negative into a positive, right? And, you know, writing that book felt like part of the process of accomplishing that. And you know, was really happy with the way that book turned out. And as you say, I mean, it was not written as a sort of to teach any sort of lesson. It was just my experiences in the first 30 or so years of my life, and just sharing that, you know, with the world, and some, hopefully with some entertainment value as well, and that's it. Just a recounting of my story and my experiences, and however that lands with people.
Yeah.
it's what it is.
It's powerful, man. And I think it's awesome. And I think it helped people a lot too. Finally, a fishing tournament, Belize. Yeah, right. But there's something way deeper going on in this film. And we touched on it. You both know it. If someone said, David, what's this film really about? What do you tell them?
Love. Ultimately, it always comes down to love. And this focuses a lot on the love between fathers, grandfathers, and sons, and working through the complications toward a fuller love. So I would say that that's what this is about.
I ask this in my wine show a lot, and it's always great to get all the answers. One bottle of wine with anyone, living, dead, fictional, it could be fake, whatever. Who are you opening up that bottle with? I'll ask you next, Cameron. David, will you go?
Well, I'm allergic to wine.
Okay, so
I'm allergic to fruit, so we're not going to be drinking that.
All right.
But I wouldn't mind sitting down with my father.
Yeah.
If I had that opportunity again.
Yeah.
Which we didn't have.
Cameron, what about you?
I'd probably call my grandfather back for a few hours and enjoy a bottle of wine with him.
Yeah, that's special. This is powerful. This movie that you guys are involved with and sharing with people is powerful. I can't thank you enough both for the time and for, having 20 minutes to really, get into it with you guys and not be rushed into 7-8 minutes. It really meant a lot to me. So I just can't thank you enough, both of you gentlemen. And, we'll save luck for those that need it. So I won't wish you luck, but this film's going to be awesome. Appreciate you both.
Awesome.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Enjoy that wine, man.
Thank you for sure. You come and visit. We'll make sure that you do too, dude.
Okay, sounds good, man. All the best.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again.
What an honor to sit with those two today. Cameron Douglas, David Morse. Looking Through Water is in theaters September 12th. That's next Friday. Trust me, this isn't just another drama. It's a gut punch of vulnerability, legacy, and the kind of forgiveness really that we all hope we're brave enough to offer or ask for, depending on who you are. If you want to learn more about the film, watch the trailer. Get a link to Cameron's best-selling memoir, Long Way Home. All of those linked for you in the show notes at your fingertips. All right, ready to wrap up this week. Quick week, because the holiday. Temps in the mid-70s in San Luis Obispo, mid-80s in the North County. It's been a good-looking week, cooling down a bit. That's good. Harvest in full swing for a lot of folks, especially if you're in the Edna Valley. Harvest likely in full swing for you. Paso even start doing some picking. I bet the majority of it going to be starting, really, really soon. I know my friends at Tamber Winery, their first day of harvest is today. Happy harvest to my friends at Tamber. Thanks for giving us the Lobro Studios at Tamber Winery. You can taste their wines in the village of Arroyo Grande. Tamber, T-A-M-B-R-E, tamberwinery.com. Also, thanks to our friends at Moonshiner Collective for original music on the show called Start Again. Stream them wherever you get your music. Learn more, moonshinercollective.com. And to you, thank you so much for rating, reviewing, subscribing to what we do here, sharing it, telling a friend, anything. It does help, and it really helps others discover what we're doing here in this community. So thank you. I'm Adam Montiel. Appreciate you a lot. Thank you so much for being Up and Adam.
Some say life is where it begins. Straight to the stars is where it ends. Only to start again. Let's start again. We'll start again. Let's start again.